Hi, I'm Gloucester Township Mayor Dave Mayer, and welcome to the first episode in the series of our Gloucester Township Small Business Assistance Program. I'm joined today by Jake from Triad. Triad is a company that is administering this grant program for the township. And Jake, thank you for taking your time today.
Hi, Mayor. How are you today? Thanks for having me on.
You know, Jake, we've been working on this small business program now for a couple months where we're providing direct grants to small businesses in Gloucester Township. Those grants range from $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 directly to our small businesses. It is not a loan, it's a grant. In order to put this program together, it needs to be administered. And we have to make sure that we're doing it right and that there is an application process. And so I was wondering if you could just walk folks through what that process is for a small business to apply for the Gloucester Township Small Business Assistance Program.
Just want to go through the process here real quick of how this grant program works. The very first thing you need to do if you're interested is head over to the Gloucester Township website. So glotwp.com/CDBG will take you to a page with some information about how the program works. If you scroll to the bottom of that page, there's a form on there, and that's the pre-application for the program. Once you fill that form out, it gets sent over to our staff. We'll vet it against the program guidelines to make sure that the business was open in time and prior to the start of the pandemic, that the employee information is correct and the type of business works with the program. Once we've been through all that and are able to approve it per the program guidelines, we'll send you an invitation and the full application to apply for the program. You'll need to fill that application out and provide the documentation that it requests and return that to us. We'll go through it, let you know if there's any documentation that we're missing or additional documentation that's needed per your application. And once we have all of that, and assuming that it continues to work with the program guidelines, we'll issue a preliminary approval and notify the township. At that point, the township council will consider the award or the approval for award. Assuming that happens, within a couple of days after that approval by the township council, the award will be made. We'll let you know. You'll just have to come in and fill out some documentation and get your award. The application itself, if you get through that pre-application process, about 4 pages long, not super complicated. Asks for some basic business information, some basic budget information, asks you for a project summary. So if you were to be, your current business situation, and then if you were to be awarded, what would you do with the funding? Once we get that, we get you through to the award. We look at the expenses that you've provided us, the business expenses, and the award amount that you're eligible for is based off of those expenses. So, it's important to provide us with all of the business expenses that you have so that we can make sure we're getting you the appropriate award amount. But that's it in a nutshell. There's not really much beyond that that businesses need to do to be able to apply for this grant program.
Well, thanks, Jake. Appreciate that. What else does a small business have to do? What documents do they have to provide? What is that exact process and the steps that they have to take once they get through the initial application?
You need to provide some employment documentation, and there's also a participation agreement that comes with that application. The documents that are needed with that are a copy of the most current business bank statements, a copy of the NJWR 30, which is a tax document or a tax return if it's a sole proprietorship. You'll also need a copy of your lease, utility bills, property tax bill. Being able to establish expenses is important, and we'll kind of cover that in a minute. And then you also need a listing of your employees as of January 1st, 2020, and any employees that you've hired since then and the current status of all of those employees, whether they're still working for you full-time, part-time, if they've left. And then we'll also need to know if you've received any CARES funding. So the SBA Paycheck Protection Program loans, EIDL loans, anything from the state, things of that nature. The biggest slowdown that we've noticed with these applications has been related to the documentation. There are a number of pieces that you've got to gather. They have to be current when you send them over to us. So our recommendation is, that list is on that pre-application site when you fill out the first form. Our recommendation would be to start right then, putting those documents together, whether you've got to reach out to your accountant or go through your own paperwork or do some figuring. Having those ready will really help speed up the process and get you to an approval faster.
Jake, once a small business qualifies, how is the money dispersed to that small business? What is that process?
So once there's an award and it's been approved by the Township Council, the mayor's office will reach out to any awardees and let them know that there's a check ready for them. At that point, it's as simple as setting an appointment with them, coming into the mayor's office pretty much, anytime during regular business hours and filling out a couple of forms. You got to sign the participation agreement again and let us know a little bit about some employee specifics. And at that point, they'll be able to release the check to you and you'll be ready to go.
Well, Jake, thanks so much again for taking your time today to be with us. And thank you for all the effort that you and Triad are putting into this program. Really appreciate that assistance and really appreciate the assistance for our small businesses. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Mayor. Hopefully this program will continue to help businesses in Gloucester Township and we can really help some people move forward.
In the second part of this video, and every video in our small business education series, Steve from Blue Wire Media will break down specific elements for social media marketing, grassroots opportunities, and how to maximize your reach and engagement online. Steve has worked with video and marketing for over 20 years. He's an adjunct professor at Drexel University and is often used as a guest speaker in regard to social media optimization. So let's get started.
Hi, I'm Steve from Blue Wire Media. This is the first in a series of 6 videos as part of the Gloucester Township Education Series. We'll be talking about social media, media marketing, sync and control of your social media outlets and your website, also advertising on social media, and some other content. Most of these videos will be about 20 minutes. This one's going to be shorter because I'm just going to do the most basic kind of information to start people off if they're not sure about what social media outlets are out there to best serve your business in regard to organic searchability. First off, just seeing who's talking to you, here's a little bit about me. I've been in the industry for quite a while, and I am also an adjunct professor at Drexel University in their media department, and have been hired and do guest speaking in regard to social media optimization and this exact style content that we're going to be running through for the Gloucester Township Educational Series. I think an understanding of what's most important here is what the goals are. So let's establish that first. The goal is for you to understand social media outlets and how best to use them to make your business be found. But I think it's important to understand what is social media. Now, I'm not going to read through all the slides. These are going to be available for download, the whole presentation in each part as a series, so you can read through it at your own pace, but I'll just hit some highlights that I think are important. Social media is really a collective of online outlets that are designed to engage your customer base and build your brand. It is called social media because you need to be social. Please don't just sell. It's about engaging your customer base. This graphic is unbelievably overwhelming to a lot of people. It is actually a wheel of social outlets, what to use them for, in sort of a funnel to keep them organized. So why would you use social media to market your business? Why would you use social media to engage your customer base? Well, you could increase brand recognition and loyalty. It helps you build a loyal fan base that you can market to when needed. If you're providing content that they're interested in, they will share it, which helps spread the word with a trusted and reliable reference. Meaning if they share your content, it's coming from a user and going to their Facebook page, for example, and their followers see it, so they tend to trust the content. And as we all know as business people, a word of mouth recommendation from someone you know has a lot of weight in regard to you attempting or trying to use that service. In doing this for so long, I've come across so many people that really don't understand who their target market is, who they're going after as customers, who their actual customers are. And I think you need to do a little bit of that research before you really spend too much time working in the social space or working in any real advertising. You don't want to waste your money. You don't want to waste any of your time. It's very important to maximize that time. So let's think about who the target is, who your actual customers are, and what they're interested in regard to your business. The thing I hear is my audience is everyone. I have a pizza parlor. My audience is everyone that eats, so it's everybody, but it's not. It's people in your geographic area. Most restaurants or pizza parlors have, for example, a certain radius people will come from to use their service, and that's something to give a thought to. Also, understanding the different audience types is very important. If you have a younger and older client base, you may speak differently to them on different social media outlets or different advertising pieces that you make. And that's important to understand in regard to the language you use and images or where you're placing that content. So the following slides talk about what social medias are currently very popular in regard to what they do for organic search engine optimization. And again, quickly, organic search engine optimization is when your business, your company, you as a person has more clout, has more searchable content based on the shares you have, based on the likes you have, based on the followers that are engaged and how they engage with your content. All of that helps you get found easier on Google, so you come up higher in their rankings, therefore are earlier in the pages as you do a Google search. Let's go through these outlets quickly, discuss their benefits, and I'll give you some highlights that I think are important. So Facebook is a great way to connect to people who follow your business already, realizing that many people that follow or like your business are your supporters and they're already there, so you can engage them. What engages people most are stories or content regarding your staff, about things that are happening at your business. And again, everything is relative to your business itself, but you can use Facebook to drive people to your website, and we'll get into engaging content and what that is in episode 2. But for now, let's just say you want to engage your customer base. So talk about things they're interested in, talk about things that are about or around your business. So things that relate to your business are good ways to reach out to people. And as you post, you can use the analytics built into Facebook to see what posts are getting the most engagement, what content is getting the most engagement, and then build on that success. Twitter is out there just like Facebook has been for quite a while. Twitter is very interesting because it's highly searchable. It's more friendly to hashtags and using hashtags to help direct people and pull more people into your business, your scope of business, by selecting broader hashtags and a specific direct hashtag to your business. Again, we'll be going through that in an upcoming episode. Just wanted to touch base on the outlets for now. Here's some tips for Twitter. Know that if you have interesting content or interesting people in your posts, it's absolutely appropriate to tag them on this outlet, and that gives the opportunity for their followers to see what you're all about and that they potentially support your business. Instagram is a highly searchable, photo-driven platform. So great pictures, great images, along with story that relates to your business, to the photo, generates clicks, generates interest. Instagram is a highly searchable photo sharing app. Again, it's available on all mobile devices and just recently has launched the ability to allow people to upload photos from the desktop, which is very interesting. I think one of the things that's important to understand about Instagram is it's great to do, but you need to commit to it. So you need to just post some pictures, a few things a week. You can even do them all at once, but you need to get content out there because you don't want to be forgettable on that outlet. With Instagram, like any of these other social media outlets, the quality of your posts, what you're showing, how you're showing it are very important. Great pictures tend to get more clicks. Great pictures with stories tend to get even more clicks. Please be very cautious of using content that isn't yours. Copyright is an issue, and you want to make sure that you're supporting any artist's work. So if you need pictures, purchase, download elements from places like Shutterstock, or take photos of your own. They're going to get more engagement than a stock photo anyway if people see your staff and they know your staff, or they see you. Instagram is a photo-driven app, but tell a story. Engage people. The more interesting short story that helps engage viewers, the better it is, the more clicks you'll get. And it's okay to have a call to action. You can tell people what to do. Now, Instagram doesn't have a clickable link, meaning you cannot put go to my website in the body of a post. You can have it in your profile, but it's important to know you can't just send people to a website from it without doing an ad. This is where hashtags come in, and we'll have a whole section on what the heck is a hashtag, and I'll explain exactly how they work. Pinterest is also an interesting social media to use for your business, especially if you have a business that's highly visible in regard to imagery. It's very searchable in regard to organic SEO. While it's mostly an app where you collect images for the end user, those collections, clicks, and shares add up to give you reputable references from a trusted source. That helps with SEO as well. I'm not sure of anyone that has a computer or a phone that hasn't used YouTube. YouTube is a great place to archive your video content. Video is king when it comes to the internet. People watch, especially if it sounds and looks good. People share. All of that is great for your Google ranking. And now, LinkedIn. This is a great resource for hiring and for networking. For what we're doing, it's not the best outlet to increase your Google rankings. You don't necessarily want LinkedIn to show up highly in a Google search of your business, because it's really about networking. It's really about employees and employers connecting. It just doesn't have the same open engagement as the other outlets, and research shows it doesn't offer a significant boost to SEO in regard to a referral to your business. Take a look at this video. It'll explain how search engine optimization works and how Google gives priority to references from trusted sources. The trusted sources in this case are your social media outlets.
Imagine for a minute that you're a librarian, but not a normal one. You're a librarian for every book in the world. People depend on you every day to find the exact book they need. How do you do it? You need a system. You need to know what's inside every book and how books relate to each other. Your system needs to take in a lot of information and spit out the best answers for a patron's questions. It's not an easy job. Search engines like Google and Bing are the librarians of the internet. Their systems collect information about every page on the web so they can help people find exactly what they're looking for. And every search engine has a secret recipe called an algorithm for turning all that information into useful search results. Now, if you own a website, search results matter. When your pages have higher rankings, they help more people find you. The key to higher rankings is making sure your website has the ingredients search engines need for their recipes. This is called search engine optimization, or SEO. As it turns out, most of the big ingredients are known. Let's take a look. First, words matter. Search engines account for every word on the web. This way, when someone searches for shoe repair, the search engines can narrow results to only the pages that are about those words. Second, titles matter. Each page on the web has an official title, but you may not ever see it because it's in the code. Search engines pay a lot of attention to page titles because they often summarize the page like a book's title. Third, links between websites matter. When one web page links to another, it's usually a recommendation, telling readers this site has good information. A web page with a lot of links coming to it can look good to search engines. But some people try to fool the search engines by creating or buying bogus links all over the web that point to their own website. Usually, search engines can detect when a site has a lot of them, and they account for it by giving links from trustworthy sites more weight in the recipe. Fourth, the words that are used in links matter too. If your web page says Amazon has lots of books, and the word books is linked. Search engines can establish that Amazon.com is related to the word books. This way, when someone searches for books, that site will rank well. Lastly, search engines care about reputation. Sites with a consistent record of fresh, engaging content and growing numbers of quality links may be considered rising stars and do well in search rankings. These are just the basics, and the recipes are refined and changed all the time. Good SEO is about making sure your website has great content that's supported by the ingredients that search engines need for their recipes.
Well, there we go. I think that explains it pretty well. The weight and importance of referrals from trusted sources to your website's searchability, and to your business. Those trusted sources are social media outlets. The more people talk about your business, the more people share your posts, the more people that engage with your content, the more weight that has with Google's searchability. So don't get scared. It seems like a lot. There are a lot of social media outlets out there, but you don't need to do them all. Let's focus on the ones that work best to optimize your organic SEO and build your searchability. Again, this is the first in a series of videos. We will go into much more detail in other episodes. Hopefully this served as a highlight for those who don't have a strong background or need more information about social media. Just a few other quick things. When I say Google, I mean all search engines. There are so many out there. They all have their own way of cataloging websites and scanning their data, but they all basically work the same. This is a first in a series of videos. There'll be 5 more. Those videos will go into much more detail about searchability, content, how to get found, syncing your website and your social media to maximize its impact, advertising on social media, and so many more things. If this went a little fast for you, please feel free to watch it again. Download the PDF of the pages that we discussed today. On the Gloucester Township website, there's an area where you can submit questions. I will get back to you, and my team will get back to you with answers. We can also set up a private teaching session once we get a little further in the process. Thank you for watching the Gloucester Township Education Series. See you soon.